What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday and welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and you're watching another episode of Comic Collector Origins. This is episode 34. Holy crap. It's been such an amazing journey meeting so many different people. If you guys are new, well, first and foremost, welcome. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell because that helps me out a lot and lets you guys know whenever I'm live or posting new videos. Comic Collector Origin is all about the community, the comic book community. We talk about origin stories all the time on characters and superheroes and villains, but we never talk about the origin stories of the people that are in this hobby, that are collecting, that are reading. So I just thought this was always a cool idea to kind of flip it and start getting to know some of the community a little bit more and hearing some of their background as to where it all started, how it began for them, what their origin was, what was their first appearance at a Comic Con, things like that. So it's been such an incredible journey and doing this. So hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful Saturday here in New Jersey. With all that being said, my guest for today is my man Nigel, aka Desired Comics, who I am very, very excited to have on here as a guest because I've known Nigel for a little while now. We've been going back and forth. He is such a big supporter to the entire community. Everything he does, he's in everybody's chats. He's always there on Instagram, supporting everybody, sharing people's shows. It's something that means a lot to me because he really is the definition of community and what community looks like and why I like this hobby so much with all the incredible people that I've met, including Nigel. So Nigel and I, we've been trying to get this going for a couple months now. And finally we were able to lock down a date and everything. So I'm really excited to bring him on. So let me bring him in here and then we'll get this going. Nigel, man, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Justin?
How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Excited. Got a lot of adrenaline going here.
Hell yeah, man. Good. I'm glad, man. You got my Baltimore Ravens brother on with me. I love it. Yeah, I know, like I was saying before, we were trying to sync up a couple other times. I know you had a surgery not too long ago. Hope everything's well. You look great, man. Recovering everything. So yeah, it's been good. Now you're down south right now. Are you in Baltimore or you're in DC or where are you at?
Yeah, I live in downtown Baltimore. So, okay. DC is about 45-minute drive. So it's real quick, man. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. How's the weather down there? It looks sunny. It looks nice.
Yeah, right now it's in the upper 40s, so that's nice for March,
for sure.
But you're in spring weather. Yeah. So it's springtime. We're getting into spring now. I think we're done with the 30 and 20 degree weather. So, and I'm a spring guy. My birthday's next month and I'm all about the springtime, man. I like the days getting longer and that kind of thing. So I'm excited,
man. Very cool. I'm totally with you there, man. It's been about time, kind of getting old with the snow and stuff. So want to be able to get out a little more, even just for a walk and stuff is going to be nice. So, well, with that being said, before we jump into things, I do want to say first, guys, make sure you are following Nigel over on Instagram. Nigel, I put your information in the description below. For any of you that are watching the replay, we appreciate you guys taking that time. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you follow Desired Comics on Instagram. And let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll dive into the fun.
Sure.
So I saw bright and early in here was my man Sith Lordley representing Spine Ticks. Good to see you, Sith. He's been waiting, man. He's been waiting. Al Strand's comic collection as well. Oh yeah, he says. Very, very cool. They were chatting it up well beforehand. So appreciate you guys hanging out and taking some time out of your day to hang with Desired and I. We got Brandon in the house, Comics Kings. Hello. We also got my man Fable in the house. What's going on, Fable? Man, it's everywhere, man. We got Eric, also the other half of Spine Ticks. Azor's Tiger, good to see you, my friend.
Azor's, no doubt.
Thanks for stopping in. Everything Nerd Reviews. Hello.
What's going on?
We got Entropy in Comics. What's going on, man? Greetings, community.
Greetings.
Good to see you as well. Perpetual Comics. Hello. Happy Saturday, folks. Happy Saturday indeed.
Happy Saturday.
See, we got Anthony M. Yancey. What's going on, Anthony? Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, so Anthony's one of my longtime friends from since middle school. So appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Appreciate that support. We got Hyper Combo Comics. They're going to be on with Spine Ticks later. Him and Newbie. That's going to be a good show. Hyper and Newbie doing their tour, I see.
So man, I see them getting out there for sure.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Let's see. We also got Flash by Night. Oh, and it just jumped on me. Man, the chat just jumped. Let's see. Flash by Night in the house. What's going on, Flash? We also had Real Rude 6 as well. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. I think I'm getting everybody here. Oop, and chat jumped again. We got Jeff Schultz representing Chicago. What's going on, Jeff? Always good to see you. And we also got Off-White Tim. What's up, Tim? Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
And just saw him doing some live IGs over the week. So good to see you, man. Always on the hustle.
No doubt.
Yeah, hell yeah. So very cool, guys. If you have questions for Nigel, feel free, throw them in the chat. We will get to them. I will go back and forth with the chat as we go through this interview. So and same thing, Nigel. If you see something you want to address or something you want to kind of jump into, feel free to point that out. I'll obviously highlight it, and we can go from there. I always tell my guests this is a casual hangout conversation, no pressure. It's all about you. We want to know about what got you started. So let's start with that question. Well, when was it that you first got started in this hobby, whether you were a reader or a collector, or you watched the movies or whatever it was? How old were you, and what was your environment looking like at that time?
Yeah, for sure. So first I was born in the Caribbean. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and moved to the States when I was an infant, and lived in Brooklyn, New York, in East New York on Linden Boulevard. And we lived pretty much next door to a hospital that had a gift shop. And so I was 8 years old, and I used to go into the gift shop where they would have, comic books. And I started, just going in there. I used to go in there initially buying candy and stuff, and I had ride my bike there and whatnot.
Nice.
And, the first book that, interestingly enough, I was 8 years old, and I'll show you. I'll just start showing the books now. So this is the first book. This isn't the actual book, and I'll explain that to you guys in a sec. But this is the first book that got me into comics.
See that there? Wow. Oh yeah, that's a great one. That's a great story. 9-4, nice.
So Wars, yeah. So it was a big deal. It's a big deal now. I mean, you guys. I mean, as we know what's going on in the world today, especially in today's market. But I ended up getting a newsstand because the books that I had back then were newsstands. And I started reading Secret Wars, got into Secret Wars 2. So there are actually four books that really stand out to me. That was one of them. This was another one that really struck home to me too. It was Iron Man 192. Is Iron Man versus Iron Man. As you can see, the old armor versus new armor.
I love that.
As I told everybody in Instagram and stuff, I have books that I haven't shown before on other platforms. So those books. Another big book. So there was a comic book shop in Baltimore called Comic Book Kingdom in East Baltimore. And I used to go to. I used to have to take the bus there. And I was when I got into high school and whatnot. I used to go there. And this book right here was this one and another one that was really big back then as well. It's called Long Shot Number 1. I did post this on my Instagram page one time. This is probably the book that I'm going to show that I've shown before.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the original book that I had that I had in my collection back then. And it was this one and Punisher number 1 from the Punisher Limited series. And I knew everybody was into Punisher back then. And I was like, you know what, I want to be different. And Long Shot was really dope back then too. It was super hot. So anyway, so that was another one too. And also back in the day, I was collecting Transformers. And
nice.
Yeah. So
9.8 too. Woo.
Yeah, man. Nice. I got 2 of them. Woo. But it was really big for me, man. And I was, watching Transformers and G.I. Joe and stuff, and those were really the thing for me. There's actually another one here somewhere. I got books set up to show you guys. There's one more, but anyhow, I'll get to it. But so those books. Were the things that really were the titles that really struck me back then.
Mm-hmm.
So getting back to this thing about, these weren't my original copies. So I lived in an apartment complex in Brooklyn, New York, not big ups to Brooklyn for sure. But what I did was there was a little cove at the bottom of the steps in the apartment building that what's going on, hip hop? Big Steve, shout out to you. So I used to read my books in the bottom of the stairwell in the apartment complex. Mm-hmm. And it was like a little cove part that I used to tuck my comics away back in the day. And just one day they were gone, man. It was so my comic books were stolen.
Damn.
Very heartbreaking back,
Damn, man. Yeah.
Decent condition and whatnot. Right. So, so ever since then, I always told myself I'd restore that collection and get back to it. And I've heard other stories like this on your show, so I definitely could relate every time I heard that, man. And so it's one of those soft stories, but it also gave me motivation to move forward and really take this thing to the next level as I progress in my comic book career.
Absolutely. So, Mike, we got Soph Collector in the house as well. Busybody Comics, all good, man. So yeah, man. That is definitely a heartbreaker. And obviously, anytime anybody loses comics or they get thrown away or they get stolen, is brutal. So, but like you said, it gave you that motivation. Now like, all right, you have a goal as to what you kind of want to get back. Obviously, through the years, now we're talking. You were a kid here, right? I mean, this was. You were still just coming up at this point, right?
I started reading at 8 years old, and I was in my early, through, before high school even.
Right. So did you take breaks in between as you've grown up now? I mean, have you always just been really involved in comics, or were there these times where you took breaks for one reason or another?
Yeah, excellent question. So so I did take breaks. In retrospect, I'm sure as others who've taken breaks, I wish I didn't. Sure. But yeah, I took several breaks. So out of high school, we moved a few times. Lived in Syracuse, upstate New York, from Brooklyn. It was too cold and snowy. Then we moved to Baltimore and been here ever since. Mm-hmm. And for the love of comics,
James,
hilarious. But so I took a couple breaks. It was after high school, going through that whole transition into college and whatnot. Took a break there, and then I got back into it. Right around. Took some years off, probably about 10 years or so, 8 to 10 years somewhere. I forget it. Time flying so fast. So when I got back into comics, I started hitting up the cons. There he is, Big Moore.
So Morbius.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. So when I got back into comics, I said, you know what? I got to get some really I got to be strategic in this thing now, because I'm seeing how things were blowing up back then. Yeah. I got to get the books while I got the money. And
sure.
I'm going to show a couple more books here that from this era of me actually collecting. And I think I did really well. You guys in the chat, let me know. So this is, so I got this book back in the day, back in like 2000 and somewhere around 2008, 2010.
Sorry, hold on. I was trying to blow you up here.
I got you. I wish I knew how to operate StreamYard and all that, dude.
Man, it's like not moving right now.
No worries.
All right.
So I got this back in the day. It's Tales of Suspense 52. It's the first appearance of Black Widow, off-white pages. Got it for like a couple $100.
Damn.
And in this right now, you guys can look up the value on this, few grand. But I got this one, and one of my most prized possessions I'm gonna show right now. So when I got back into comics, I really started getting into the cons. And Justin, I hear you mentioned in several shows that you talk about the Baltimore Comic Con, and it's a big deal, man. It's a big show here, Off-White, yes sir. And it's a big deal here. The show has gotten really, outstanding. The layout
every year, I feel like.
Yes, sir. It's so amazing. But so I ended up buying this book. I ended up getting 2 of them. I sold one. I wish I did not, but I got this. And and Stan Lee was here that year. It was back in 2011, and this book right here.
Oh man, that is something I would love to have that book at some point, man.
Yeah,
beautiful 6.5. Wow.
And you know what? I'll never part with this, because the picture that I have on Instagram that I took with Stan Lee, that was the same day that I had this signed. I also paid for the option to take a picture with him.
That's
And
special.
but it does have an old yellow label, so I do think about cracking this thing and sending it to CCS, or having them crack it, and
Sure.
and seeing what turns out to be. But
Right.
it's off-white pages. It's a really clean copy. If you look,
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, my ceiling's got the different design there, so
Yeah,
it's
no, that is beautiful right there.
thanks. And so yeah, and you see the Stanley Sig there. It's kind of so anyway. So that was the next chapter, or the next reintroduction into books. And Azores, my man.
We will start the bid at $10.
We got to twist my wrist probably for the rest of our lives for that one. But maybe I'll be holding it in my coffin. You can grab it then. But so yeah. Cool. So when we talk about that era, so then I got a few books. The Loki book, Journey into Mystery '85, which I showed on Instagram, was another one that I had back then. I think I got it for like maybe I think $400 or something like that. And it's a 6.5 off white pages. I'm sure it's in a few grands white and whatnot. But so anyway, I know I hear Bronze and Modern Gods talks about that book, that Avengers 4, a lot. Yeah, I think I forget his name. He's not Richard, the other guy, but he talks about. He said he wants that on his. That's on his top picks for the year and whatnot. But anyhow, so yes, off white, correct, man. That's. I'm so appreciative of that book. So yeah, so I got into it then, but then I started to get into my career, had some ups and downs. Got laid off a few times, had to sell some books. I actually had a Hulk 181 8.5 old blue label back then, and bought it back in the day. And I'm sure we all have these stories, where we've had these amazing books. This is the one that I had, the one that got away, that I let get away. It was an 8.5 old OG label, and I bought it back in the day for like $300.
Wow.
And I sold it. Yeah, there you go, John. Hey, there you go. Thanks, Sif. And so I bought it for $300, but then a few years later, I sold it for like $1,250. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the I made a ton of money, and that was a whole blue label, and it looked really good. It was off white to white pages.
Sure.
And just imagine with a clean and press and and whatnot. Even just an 8.5, just in general, what that's today, right?
Oh, it's crazy, yeah.
Bananas. So that's one of my books that I wish I had today.
See, so now you understand why I'm never going to sell you my X-Men 1, right? You understand. You get it. You totally get it.
Hey, man, we're friends forever. So just like I mentioned to Azores, I'll be waiting right there, my friend.
I love it, man. I love it.
Stay in good health, man. Stay in good health.
I'll put you in the will, man. I'll put you in the will.
So yeah, man. So it's so I got some stuff, man. Some great, some amazing stuff that that just being able to be in and out of the industry, several times, and continue to meet great people. CGC has done a heck of a job, and CBS with as far as creating a platform or creating an environment where these books are appraised now. And, and it allows us to make these transactions so much easier. Obviously, the eBays, which we call FeeBay, right? And we have the community, which allows us to be able to wheel and deal amongst ourselves, man. And it's just an amazing evolution of the industry.
Absolutely, man. And I've see it more and more in terms of the community kind of helping each other out. I've seen you making great trades, working with people, looking for if anybody's interested in certain things, or, just putting the word out there. If you're looking for something, like, that's what I like about the community in general. If there's a book you're looking for, somebody has it that probably is trying to sell it, that probably will have it for a good deal. And one of your friends knows that person, and it all just kind of ties together. So, as I talked about in the community, I mean, it's just been everything. And I think you're spot on with all that. So it's incredible. It's incredible to hear kind of your journey through this. and I want to ask, we're talking about community. Did you know that there was a community like this, like on Instagram, on YouTube, before you joined Instagram? Who were you talking about when you were collecting? Like, who else were you talking to before you got into the online scene, I guess we can call it?
Yeah. So initially, I had my own. I have a personal page, on Instagram. It's called Universal Dude, and I've been on there for years. And but then I started following bigger pages like Marvel Comics and DC Comics and No More Mutants. The bigger pages with the huge followings and whatnot, sure. The huge followers, and then I started looking in the comments. I'm like, hold up here, there's some consistencies in these comments, and so I said, you know what, I got on. I started following a few people, 32 pages late. Yes, he's a homie for sure. He has an excellent page. He shows something every day, just like yourself, more, Sith, Azorus, as I've gotten to know everybody, I've met now. But yeah, so, I started following them, and I said, hey, you know what? I want to have a separate Instagram page with my own identity, because, Universal Dude, it reminds, that page is kind of like, I travel for work a lot and for leisure and that kind of stuff, but I wanted to have a true comic identity in social media. So I started looking up, words and, what names have been taken and have not been taken and whatnot. And, it's like, like crave comic, like different words that describe dope books. And I was shocked that the handle Desired Comics was still available. And so I ended up getting on about a year ago, actually. It's probably almost my 1 year anniversary on Instagram as Desired Comics. And nice. So I chose that. And then hence, I started building. But I will say my first like OG friend in comics is UST Gray, Ben. He's amazing, man. Yeah,
Ben is the man. Yeah, hell yeah. I know. I saw when you guys met up. I saw that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's in Houston and in the Houston area, and he reached out to me and had some questions about some books I had, and we've been talking ever since, man. He's definitely an OG to me in this community, and big ups to him. I don't know if he's on. He may be in the chat, but yeah. So that's kind of how I got into that into this as far as reintroduction to so this is how I got back into the book. So social media with Desired Comics. A year before that, when I was using my other Instagram page, actually, that's when it was like 2018-ish when I got back into books. And I was really big into Clayton Crane. And, so I actually sold a few of his books recently. Yeah, that's a great question there, Ben. Hey, man, big ups to you, man, no doubt. Hilarious, man. It's my OG for sure. And Hood Rat, yes sir. Ian, Big E. So so I started getting back into the books. Yeah, man, Morb, you know it, man, and it's amazing. It's being able to travel for work regularly. And I don't keep my books in the house. I have several safes that I have just in case one gets broken into. That nobody's getting it all. But,
right. It's not a bad idea, man.
So I got back into the books. I was really getting. I was like, you know what? Income's decent. As everyone knows, we talk about demographics of comic investors and collectors, and we have a little more disposable income, and I got to go for it. This is it. This is our time to shine. Whatever we're going to do in life, we got to do it now. It's the best time to do it to do anything is right now. So I really started investing heavily a few years ago, and I'm very fortunate because we see what's happening in the market today. As far as my collection strategy and style, I'm really big on, I've always been, as far as a business guy, and by the way, that is a clock there. That shape of it is a Trinidad Tobago right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. My cousin I was
wondering.
He's a woodworker kind of guy. He made that for me. He lives in Trinidad. But so anyway, I was able to, Yeah, man. So just been able to invest heavily into books. Sometimes I overdo it a little, but in this hobby, yeah, you know how it is, Justin, man. So in this hobby, it's an awesome thing because from a collector and investor standpoint, I mean, you can really strike it big. I mean, look at GSX. That's one book I don't have. I don't have X-Men 1. Those are books that I actually offered. I was GSX. What's his name? Spigu. If you know him on Instagram, we talked about a deal last year, and I dropped the ball on that. For a 6.5 GSX1 signed by I think it was Claremont, and
he also just bought a big book. He just bought one from
he bought a 7X. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's a lot of money.
He's a legit dude for sure. His collection's sick from what I've seen, and then also X-Men 1. So I have a few LCSs here: Comics to Astonish, Universal Comics, and To Be Continued Comics near closer to Annapolis. And so Comics to Astonish, those guys, and then also a guy, I forget what company's the name of his company's Damien. He's in Northern Virginia, and he offered me his X-Men 1 at a 3.0 last year in November, and it was the deal was good through mid-December. And I talked to Erod, and I talked to a couple other pressers, Chris at the Comic Book Presser, and I showed him pics, and we looked at the graders' notes, and and like anything else, man, we never know what's going to happen in the market. Look what's happening in the last 90 days, right? So I was offering that book for what, $6,400 at a 3.0. And this was just a few months ago. And what is it now? It's like 10 grand, 11, 12 grand, whatever the number is. Just imagine like the price of your signed book. It's incredible how explosive the rush of collectors and new collectors and investors have really affected the market.
Big time. Yeah, no, you're spot on, man. I'll tell you, it's a crazy time for sure to be in this hobby, to be collecting, to be reading. I am a little scared in terms of like, it just all seems so abrupt that this has happened. Yeah. So I do wonder at times if, are we staying at this? Are we going up and up and up? Is there going to be some sort of, lull at some point? There's got to be at least some sort of like flat line at some point. And then do we go down? That's the other question. Hopefully not. But certain books are just, shining in a way that no one would have ever really expected to. Not that dramatically, but it is crazy to see. It's definitely crazy to see.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, when you look at that, Gomez, my man, what's happening? So when we look at I talk to Sith fairly regularly, in recent months now. He's an awesome guy, man. My bro Sith. So basically, we talk about collecting and investing, and in my opinion, and I would say it's a decent opinion. So, take it for what it's worth, but there's always growth and protection and diversification. So, you gotta, I've always been that way. And that's why when you see, if you evidenced by what I'm displaying on IG, or, just even the other books that I'm going to show today, as far as, your collection. Don't heavily invest into, one sector in comics, man. I mean, of course, collect what you like and buy what you like. I'm all about that. Absolutely. Sure. First and foremost, it's your life, your happiness, your hobby, and you own it. At the end of the day, you own it. So, but from a collection and speculative standpoint, we got to be careful out here. There's a lot of, I would say there's market manipulation. There's, look at the housing market in San Francisco, and other housing markets in New York and where you got, the tech bubbles and whatnot. The same thing happens in real estate. It's what's happening and in stocks is actually bleeding over into the comic world now. And we got to be really careful with that as far as entry points for investment and collecting. As well as as well as keeping our ear to the streets. I was watching. Double A was on a show last week. Have a Lot Comics or something like that. Anyway, so we were talking about. I commented on there. It's a big deal as far as, and I know it's probably getting into one of your segments. Is what do we want to talk to? We can talk about that later. But as far as advice to collectors, but it's very important. We got to be really responsible with what we say, what we put out there. That's why I always dig what you got, Justin, as far as your content, man. You're a very real dude, man, and you have amazing content. and you're very responsible with what you put out there, the content, man. And we need more of that in the industry, because we got a lot of new collectors coming in, a lot of speculators, a lot of just investors who aren't even used to investing in comics, right. But basically keeping our ear to the streets, and being a member of the community kind of is a safety net. So I always encourage people to interact with us folks in the community.
Big time. Yeah. I mean, we all can learn so much just from each other, take each other's opinions in certain ways. I just had this conversation with somebody recently, just about kind of what you're saying here with, like, we as individuals and being part of this community have to take some sort of, I guess, I don't know what you call it, social responsibility, or just being careful ourselves as to what we put out there to the world, of our own opinions, of how we describe books, or how or what our thoughts are about if a book is going to drop in price or go up in price. I feel like we also have to be careful about that, because there are people out there, like you said, especially newer collectors, that may hang on our every word, and they might take it too literal or too overboard, and it might mess. Now again, at the end of the day, that comes on them, but we definitely have this huge type of encouragement, or our voices are out there. So it is something that I always, especially we all have platforms. So it's like, we all have people following us, be responsible in that way, and make sure that you're not just like dismissing certain books, or that you're not just putting out random false information, because there are people out there who may not ever reach out to you, but they're hanging on your every word, and then they go do something silly because of something they heard from, one of us or something like that. So to go what you're saying with, I mean, it's just, talk with everybody, get different opinions out there, talk to different people about things before you necessarily just go pulling the trigger on, spending money or selling big things or whatever you're in it for. I think that's great advice, though, man. I think it's great advice.
Yeah, man. And support the community. I mean, look at the shirt I got on right now. I got big shout out to my guy, the Butcher over at Pressable Defects with the AOK. You know what I'm saying? I mean, stay connected with the community, man. There's a lot of folks, Sith and Azorus. I need that Spontex shirt, please. That was a little ding ding here.
Hey, I just reached out to Azorus too, man. I'm like, yo, can I get a shirt, man?
Yeah, so when we talk about, if you don't mind, I'd like to show some more books.
No, of course. I want to highlight, Ben here said, collect what you like. If the comic market crashes, at least you are stuck with the comics you like. That's a great point too, man. I mean, at the end of the day, and what you were saying, Nigel, like, just, it all starts with that. If you aim with what you're going for, what you like, what you enjoy, even if the comic market went to zero and everybody just lost out, I mean, at least you have the books that you love, that you grew up with, and that's what matters most. So
exactly. So here when we talk about diversification, as far as collection, I'm drinking some rum and coke here, but
you're good, man. You're good.
After you and Morb, you know what I'm saying? My man Morb, no doubt. But and see, that's the thing too. We got the folks like yourself, Morb, who go into the stories, and I'm not much of a reader these days. And I am planning on it, to get back into more reading. But when it's such a refreshment and enlightenment to see folks like yourself and Morb and the other folks out here who are going into the stories and really it makes my life easier. And the book reviews and whatnot. Hyper, and Newbie and Pressable Defects, Big E's, and New York Warriors, and whatnot. So when we talk about diversification, so I got here we go. We talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? So this is Falcon #1, the limited series, but it's a Canadian variant, 9.8.
Nice.
Okay, so you want to, when I talk about diversification, this is kind of one of the things. Also, with G.I. Joe being really popular right now, being really hot, here's another Canadian variant. This is the first full appearance of Destro. Yep. The 9.4 white pages, and gotta give a shout to the old school folks, as far as gotta give a Fantastic Four, old school Skrull, Fantastic Four number 37 with white pages. I'm big into white pages, you know what I'm saying? It's about that page quality. Another thing I'm into, want to give shout outs to some of my favorite artists. We got Art Adams, and with Star Wars being so hot, I've actually talked to Sith about this one. Star Wars, it's classic Star Wars: A New Hope #1, and cover arts by Art Adams. You know, Art Adams is legit, man. I actually spoke to Brittany at CGC and Brittany at CGC, and basically we she said that she's actually working on Art Adams, getting Art Adams on board. So, you know, nice. This will be one of the books I'm going to submit for signing, Star Wars book with Art Adams. And of course, you know, I'm a huge Todd McFarlane fan. And, you know, so basically we got, you know, this Marvel Tales 235 with Todd McFarlane's cover. He's with Spider-Man with the X-Men on there, you know. All the books I'm showing ain't going to be top value and thousands of dollars. It's not about that. It's about, you know, my collection and obviously, you know, showing what my diverse.
Yeah. What's going on, Joker? We got Joker in the house.
Joker, what's up, Joker? Yes, sir. Appreciate you, my brother. Indeed. So the other thing, another thing I wanted to talk about also is, just, you know, collect what you like. And one of the things that I'm into is, you know, the artist or writer's first work, you know, and so for those two. So, yeah, so this one right here, this one is so when I did the homework on this, when you look on the census, there are not that many yellow labels on it. And I'm a big yellow label guy. For those who are not familiar with what I've displayed through IG and whatnot. But this book right here, big time book, you know, not worth a ton of money. Maybe this one is because the only 9.8 signed by Claremont on the census, but it's Claremont's first work.
That's insane, man. The only one is 9.8 too.
That's the only one 9.8 yellow label in the census that Claremont signed. It's a 9.8 white pages. It's Daredevil 102, you know, and you know, it's like, hey, what do you, you know, what's your collection like? What's your niche? You know, that kind of thing. And this is his second work, and it's a 9.8 as well. But I think there are two of them on the census.
Damn.
You know, it's a Marvel Premiere 23 at a 9.8 signed by Claremont as well. So,
very nice.
Very nice. Man, well, I got some more stuff, but we can keep talking.
Yeah, no, man, I love it. Yeah, I mean, that one thing I was going to ask, and you kind of addressed it, was, you know, where you at right now nowadays with reading some of the books. Are you diving into anything? Do you plan on, you know, reading any series, whether old stuff or new stuff? Are you buying any of the new comics that are coming out on a weekly basis right now? Are you reading anything, or you know, what are you looking forward to?
So I've been reading some of the old stuff. I actually started reading the old Silver Surfer series with First Mephisto, which I actually have get graded at CGC. I don't have number one, but I'm going to get that. That's on my list. But I read number 3 and number 4 recently, the first appearance of Mephisto, and then that classic cover with Thor and Silver Surfer on it. And, you know, that's kind of my thing. I've been wanting to catch up on books that I own or that are classics that I haven't read. So that's kind of one of my things. I do collect some moderns. I don't have any moderns. Actually, I got a modern here. We can talk about this now. Sure. So this modern right here. So I haven't read this, but I am into moderns. And as I mentioned to you, for me, it's about, you know, collection diversification. So one of the things that we talk about to protect ourselves is getting books when they, you know, the blue ocean, like Reggie Collects talks about, blue ocean versus red ocean, right? Yeah. So this book right here, people may not even be familiar with this, but it's X-Men 451, but it's the Toy Biz variant. You know, you get this when you buy the toys and whatnot, and it's a 9.8, you know, Claremont. I may have considered cracking it, but it's such a nice cover, man, that, you know, with X-23 on there. And also there's one here that actually is signed. This is X-Men 258, and it's signed by Jim Lee at a 9.8. It's a Toy Biz variant as well. You know, and it's the same cover. Bacalo, his cover for 467, I believe. But you know, it's like, hey, you know, how does your collection stand out? You know, it's like what makes you you? You know, and then I'm into as I mentioned, I do like original art. You know, one of my guys, I like Crane, I like McFarlane, all these guys, but this guy, this artist in Turkey, his name is Gorkum Demir. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but I do some biz with him. The guy's awesome. But he did this book here on a Venomverse 1 blank cover, and it's amazing with Venom and Carnage.
Oh man, hold on, let me blow that one up.
Are you freaking kidding me? So it's sketched and signed by Gorkum Demir, but inside Carnage here, I actually also had Mark Bagley sign here as well.
Damn, that is dope.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the only thing that that was on the cover before was just the word Venomverse, I believe. So
Okay. Wow.
it's all about what you like, right? So
hell yeah, that is dope, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So also I got thanks, Joker. Appreciate you, my man. Got a couple other stuff, couple other things here. We got some DC books because I always want to represent DC as well. When I talk to investors and collectors and whatnot, and it's basically you talk about right now the DC keys. Double A is a big DC key guy, right? So you got these DC keys that people, it's just DC in general right now. Obviously, with Marvel doing so well with the MCU, we all know what's going on there. Everything's just been going through the stratosphere, but DC has actually been neglected from a collector standpoint. So I do have a raw book. This is a newer book, but I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. I got to get this one graded. Nice. But it's the Six Flags one. It's probably 9.6 plus somewhere thereabouts. But I'm going to probably get it graded here at some point because obviously we know the values of that thing. Here's an Aquaman book. This was his first issue back since 71. This is from 1977. Aquaman number 57. But it's a double cover. I'm into double covers as well. Canadian variants, foreign books, things like that to just create some diversification in my portfolio of comics, my collection. Double cover 9.8. And then here you got, this one is Batman Gotham Knights #1. It's actually Bruce Lee, Jim Lee's first DC work. And it's signed by Jim Lee right here.
That's dope, man.
And it's a 9.8. And that black cover, man, you can't beat it. We all know about black covers and how hard it is to get a 9.8.
Yeah, it is tough. That is tough.
And my last DC book I got here. I know this book has gone through the stratosphere. I don't have a 9.8. I probably can get it because it's an old blue label and it does look really clean. Is Batman Adventures #12. Man. Okay.
I love that book, man.
It's Harley Quinn. I got this for a really good deal right before everything took off. I was trying to get the 9.8 before it exploded, man, and it's just somebody right before me, man, on Comic Link. But anyway, that's what I got, man. As far as that, got a couple more books, but we can keep chatting, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to. I have two main things. Well, first, I want to ask if you had to show off just like two of your top books that mean something to you, not necessarily that it's from value or money wise or anything like that, but just two books that are the most specialist to you. What two books do you have that you want to show?
Yeah, sure. So actually, those are actually two of the books that I have left. So perfect. One of them is awesome, man. It's kind of amazing we connect on this thing.
We're on the same page, man.
That's it, man. So one of them here is it's actually, man, a book that I've had for a long time that I had raw, and I submitted it to the Claremont signing. I got a lot of Claremont signed books.
I see that, man. I love it. I love it.
There's more to come when you check me on IG. So when we look at this, this book, it's the cover is meh, as far as everybody talks about the cover, but as far as the significance of it,
I was gonna guess it the minute you said cover. I'm like, is this Rogue? Tell me Rogue right now. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's you got your first Rogue 9.8 white pages signed by Claremont. I had this raw back in the day, and I just kept it in really good condition. I was really really surprised that it came back as a 9.8.
Yeah, you had it this whole time. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's some of the books I had, man. It's amazing. When you have books that you had since back in the day, you bought for $1 or $2, hundreds or whatever the number is, right?
Insane, bro. Insane.
Yeah. And then this book right here. So I mentioned to you that I don't have GSX1, right? Giant Size X-Men #1. I talked to Azores recently about it, and X-Men 1, and and that's definitely on my list, but I don't chase books, man. I'm not doing that. But I did get a Blue Ocean book before it blew up, and it's gone up, right? But this is the last book that I have actually couple more after this. But this book right here.
I was thinking 94 when you said that's the next thing after Giant Size X-Men 1, man, is that beauty right there.
Yeah, so if you look closely on here, it's signed by Claremont and Bob McLeod. Whoops, let me do that. Right, Claremont McLeod, but it also has a remark of Wolverine.
Right. Oh, what?
It's a tiny. Oh fuck, man, I can't really. Yeah, but
that's all. You know, I see it. No, I see it. I see it. That's dope, bro.
And McLeod did that, man. And I was really able to get this from one of my LCSs, and really happy to have that book, man. Because 94 was always the shit, man. You know, back in the day was like, you know, because Giant Size X-Men 1 was dope, was always dope, but 94
it's where it started, man.
A main deal, you know, it was always a big deal with 94. I remember at sometimes 94 was even worth more. It was worth more back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, 15, 20 years, it was worth more because it was the first X-Men Untitled.
In the title, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a hard cover too, because it's dark. So it's hard. The spine there nowadays, you find them beat up. The spine is the first thing to go, and you can see cracks and spine ticks. So you know, it's a nice copy that you have there. I have like a mid-grade, but yeah, it's a special book, man. And for you to have that signed, especially with all those signatures, I love that.
Thanks, man. I saw Joker on there. He made a comment about reminds me of Josh with all these high grade books. Hey, man, I appreciate you, Joker. I have been in communication with Josh. Josh actually pressed and cleaned a few books for me recently. Silver Surfer 3, the Mephisto book. Also, the first Vision that I did post on Instagram as well. It was a 9.0, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, the 4th print. That should be coming back at a decent grade. And
very nice.
But yeah, man, I'll show one more because I know we have a question and answer segment and
rapid stuff. Yeah. Give me one more. What do you got?
So that's the last couple books that I have. So when we talk about diversification and collection and whatnot, and that's why I'm so excited, man. I'm always pumped. Thanks, Off-White, man. You're the legit, man. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting up with you and Double A and Joker and everybody, man. Pressable Defects, Big E's, Dustin. I mean, it's amazing. The Spine Ticks, Hood Rat and hip hop out at Team Nerd Herd, and amazing folks. So yeah, when we continue talking about this diversification of the collection, right? So foreign books, it's a big deal. I saw it. CBSI has a segment, I believe, on foreign books and whatnot, and I was able to pick this up probably I think the end of last year or so, and this is from Italy. It's the first appearance of Green Goblin, and it's Guillermo Ragno. I know Andrew on Instagram, RS Claire's or something, whatever his name is on there. He talks about foreign books. He has post foreign books as well, but that's a pretty legit book, and it's in a really decent grade. It's a beautiful copy.
Look at the colors, man! Wow,
it's amazing, man. I was shocked to see this, available. I got it on Feebay. Took a little while to get here from Italy, but I was able to get that. But of course, if I'm going to do something like that, you want close up? Give me a close up again, real quick.
Yeah.
So so of course, if we're going to have this Italian book, it's only right that we go ahead and come through with the original. Okay. Nice. So that's Off-White to White Pages. This is one of my big pickups earlier this year.
Wow.
Amazing Spider-Man #14. First appearance of the Green Goblin. I always wanted this book, and I saw a really good deal on it, and I pulled the trigger. I don't have the GSX one and the X-Men one and all that, and that's cool too.
Hey, you can't have everything at the end of the day. There's just so much. You get what you can get.
But I will tell you, I'm very proud of my collection, and really happy to share it with folks. And maybe we can do a show in the future where we can show some more books and whatnot. Hitting up a shop or whatever, dude. I love this stuff.
Oh man, I absolutely love it, man. You have an incredible collection, and I know you just continue to grow, continue to build on that. You got a lot of love here in the chat. A lot of people, just a ton of compliments, man. It's some beautiful books for sure. And really, my last question I want to ask before we get into some of the fun, rapid stuff is, what is the big picture for you when it comes to your collection? Like, 30 years from now, what do you plan to do with these books? You plan to pass them down to somebody in your family? Do you plan to take them to the grave? Do you plan to sell them all off at some point? What's like the big retirement picture? Like when you're 70, you going to keep all these books or what?
Yeah, that's a great question, man, and I love it, man. So just the whole con scene, the Comic Con scene is so amazing, and I know we're all waiting, and we're like hot in our pants, man. Pause. To get back out and do these cons, And so one of the things that I want to do in my retirement, man, I'm working towards my retirement, and in my retirement years, I want to set up a booth at some of the cons around the country. I want to kick it with Team Nerd Herd in San Diego and have a booth there and spend $50,000 on a booth, because it's probably that expensive to have a booth place there, or New York, or the New York Con and Baltimore, and be able to display my collection and negotiate with potential buyers, and kind of do that, and probably just let that kind of fund my con circuit.
I love that, man. That's a great idea. That's a great way to still stay involved, to meet people all along the way. I really like that idea, man. That's really cool.
Thanks,
I just was saying before Gomez said 30 years from now, remember me, Desired. I'll take he'll take them off your hands, bro.
Yeah, boy.
Awesome. We got Off White Tim saying pause. Yeah, he's definitely from Brooklyn.
Off White, looking forward to it, man. Yes, sir.
And everybody in the chat, man, we've had a steady 24, 25 people this whole time. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you sub up to Desired Comics. Go follow him over on Instagram. He's always putting out fire. Always just a fun person to talk to. We're not done yet, though. I do want to get into some rapid questions, just some things to get a little bit more details on you. Some of them are comic book related. Some of them are nowhere near comic book related. So just want to kind of see where you stand on some of these things. Also want to highlight here that Hoodrat Ian was saying, you already know we got a spot for the crew for San Diego Comic Con. When that comes up, man, hell yeah, we'll be hanging with the Team Nerd Herd for sure. Appreciate you guys.
Love and respect the Team Nerd Herd, no question.
I want to say hello to VP as well. He was in here earlier, just showed up, so appreciate you swinging by. He asks, is one of the books you would never sell? Oh, is there one book you would never sell? Is what he's asking.
Yeah, that's that one. I'll show it again, man. Sure. Yeah. Let's add Avengers 4. There's no doubt about that. That's the one right there, man. That Stan Lee signed that I took a picture with him in that same moment. I'm not selling that. Yep. So there you go.
Very special. All right, so let's get into some of the fun stuff. And I mean, we're going to start with my first question as always. I mean, you're showing a lot of different books, but if you had to choose one character, whether it's Marvel or DC or independent, who is your number one favorite character of all time?
I'll say Wolverine.
Nice. Okay,
Wolverine
great.
Is it, man. I love Wolverine. I got a whole Wolverine short box, and it's actually getting into another short box of slabs of Wolverine that we can do another segment on, or maybe
Hell yeah, we'll do a whole mutant thing, man. We got to do a whole mutant.
Oh man, amazing.
I love that you're a mutant guy too, man. All right, if you could have one superpower, what would that superpower be?
I would say it would be. I thought about this because I hear it on your questions, and one of the things, man, it would be telekinesis, because then I'll be able to communicate with anybody. I've always been a person to get people together, and just, as far as traveling, I do a lot of global, international traveling and stuff, and being able to relate to people. So just being able to connect with people on that level, I think it would be amazing.
Nice. Number one favorite artist of all time.
That's a tough one, because there's some amazing, outstanding artists out here. So, I got three that
we'll give you three. Go ahead. We'll give you three.
I gotta give shout outs to them, because they're so amazing. I got Dave Cockrum, John Byrne, and Todd McFarlane.
I love all three, man. I love all three. Yeah, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you for having three. Yeah.
It's hard, man, to do that, I decided. Awesome, man.
Okay, so what about so here's the thing, because I know you talked a little bit about you haven't read as much, but you've been reading a little bit. You might read some more. What is the last comic book that you actually did read?
It's I gotta remember the issue number, but it was Amazing Spider-Man. It's the one where he's kind of like hung up on some webs like this, and it's a green background. It was Venom's first solo story.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's in the 300s somewhere, but I've been following a lot of Venom solo stories. It's one of the things that again, diversifying the collection. Everybody's going after these other books and these big keys that everybody's chasing. But that Venom solo story, I encourage people to check that out. If there's several out there, and that's the one I read. I can't remember the name of the issue number offhand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's great. What about if you could go back in time, time travel, to any time period and buy one comic book for cover price, not for monetary value, can't resell it. This is a book that goes in your grave when you move on. What would that one book be that you would go travel back for?
That would be is that Tech 27 or 28, the first Batman.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
Tech comics. That one for sure. You talk about legendary and beyond, it's timeless. And
yeah.
forget about the value, but as far as about the dollar amount, but as far as the impact that character has had on the entire comic world, cartoons, newspaper, comic strips, you
Yeah,
name it.
absolutely.
Amazing, you know.
Probably the number one. I mean, him and Batman and Spider-Man, I feel like the top two
Yeah.
characters that have really, carried the comics, as a whole, as you're saying, all it covers all these other movies and TV shows and everything. So I love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know Joker's a big Batman guy. I definitely want to check out his collection more. And if you're still in the chat, man, we'll definitely connect, man. Maybe have a twist your wrist on a couple of those books you got, man. You got some amazing Batman books.
Oh man, speaking of some signatures from earlier, my man Chet is in the house. Sorry, I was helping out mommy and daddy.
So Chet is definitely a legit guy, man. I definitely can relate to him. I would say probably most as far as mirroring collections. As far as the yellow labels.
Yeah.
I want to say that gentleman is legitimately on fire with yellow label. With getting the SIGs, man, and that's one commonality that we have, man. I got a lot of respect for him.
Absolutely, man.
No doubt.
Chet's he's bleeding X-Men, man. He literally has it in his blood, literally.
Oh yeah.
So I love it. Also Joker said hell yeah, man. He said hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. All right, so change it up just a little bit. Not so much on the comic book side, but just on personal side.
Sure.
We'll start off with music. Where do you stand with music? What do you currently, or who's your favorite artist of all time, and what's your favorite genre in general?
So, I kind of bounced around with music over the years. When I was in college, I interned at Sony Music. I did market. I was in the marketing and distribution for them. It's got into the business side. But as far as music taste, I've always been a hip hop and R&B guy from back in the day. I was, listened to a lot of music from the 80s. So I kind of really pretty diverse. For some reason, heavy metal never really resonated with me, but I've kind of bounced around just for my inquiry, my motivation to continue to be more worldly and being able to relate to people. You got to know what people, you got to be able to appreciate the music that people listen to. And so it's hip hop and R&B, Jay-Z to the end, man. I've always been a Jay-Z fan. But I will say, in my latter years, going out to the Bay Area and out California and stuff, I got more into like techno and stuff, hitting up them parties out there. And so my favorite for like house music and stuff is Satin Jackets. Imperial Satin Jackets.
I'll have to check them out.
Dude's legit, man. He's a great producer. It's just mostly instrumental stuff, but he has some singers on some of his work too. But nice. For sure.
Cool. If you were to travel around the world and just had one location that you could go stay at for a week, you, your family, whoever you want to bring with you for no money, no cost, where would that vacation be?
That would be Singapore.
Oh, nice.
Singapore. Yeah, there's a place. There's a place. If you look up whoever's been there, that I was actually supposed to go last year, then COVID obviously shot those dreams down. But right. I will be there at some point. But Singapore is one of my top spots that I always wanted to go to. There's a venue, there's a building, there's a structure out there that has like 3 towers. I only got 2 hands, so I can only do 2. 3 towers. It's all connected by one solid platform.
Oh,
and the top of that building is a club. It's like a restaurant, infinity pool and stuff. And the club is called C'est La Vie. So if you guys ever get, you want to look that up and see how amazing that place looks. But like Jazzy Jeffs played there, Satin Jackets is DJ there. A lot of dope DJs, like global DJs and stuff, have performed there. So anyway, so that's Singapore for sure, and it's just an amazing place from what I understand.
Yeah, that is awesome. It's a great choice too, man. I don't think I've had anyone share that. Would love to go there myself. Me and my girlfriend, we talk about traveling, and especially, being cooped up, for over a year. Definitely want to get out. So that's a great place to put on. I wanted to highlight that Chet said about your music stuff. Don't worry, Nigel, when the pandemic ends, you're coming into some mosh pits with me. I know he's a big heavy metal guy, Chet. So
I'm down, man. It's all about introduction and experience,
Hell yeah. And Off-White Tim fills you with the J.
Singapore has an amazing Comic Con as well, and that's what I want to time it with. I want to time my my trip along with the Comic Con there. So sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Justin. But
that's a great point too. And I always wonder sometimes as we make these plans, it's like, oh, by the way, if I'm telling my girlfriend, like, oh, by the way, there's this Comic Con too that I want to go to. Yes. You got to fit that in somehow. So
absolutely.
I love that. All right. So next question. Sport. Let's talk a little bit of sports. I know that's probably something we could dive into full on. But I do want to know, I kind of have an idea, but to let the people know, where do you stand with sports? What's your favorite sport? And then who are your teams overall in any of those sports?
Sure. So I'm a big football fan, a big American football fan. And so me living in Baltimore, I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens football fan. I'm a season ticket holder. Anybody in the community, we want to go to a game or something. Hey, I got 2 seats. We can go check it out, have a good time. Maybe check out some LCSs. Justin, I've extended that to you. Obviously, we've talked about it, and we'll do it. My neighbors, two folks, the 2 seats next to me. We could have a foursome pause. And
I am down for that, man.
We can bring the ladies out. We can do whatever.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool.
Group outing, man. So Baltimore Ravens fan. That's mostly what I'm into as far as sports. The other sports, I just like sports in general.
Yeah.
I like good competition and gonna get tripped.
Let's bring them back, man. Let's bring them back.
We're good with Lamar Jackson, though, Sith. We're okay there, But yeah, man, Baltimore Ravens, 100%, man. Lamar Jackson, the staff, very proud of being a fan of the Baltimore Ravens.
Hell yeah. Do you represent the Orioles at all? At least maybe when they have a decent season, or?
Yeah. I mean, I have O's gear, what I'm saying? Like, I go to, 4 or 5 games a year. Nice. So I'm all about it. So yeah, I mean, we could do that.
That's another one. We would come down for, because my girlfriend and I, we've come down to that. I love that stadium, by the way.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Beautiful stadium. Obviously, you can hang out outside, and hit the food down there too. But I would love to meet up with you on that, especially when the Yankees are in town, because that was you. Like, my girlfriend and I are big Yankee fans. But I do watch the Orioles. I do follow them, obviously, just because they're Baltimore, and I'm a big Baltimore guy too. So, I will definitely, I just enjoy those games. So that's like a perfect, seeing those 2 teams is always a perfect for me. And being in that stadium, absolutely one of my favorite stadiums.
I mean, Orioles Stadium, it opens up to downtown. So when you're sitting in the stands, you see that's the skyline, and it's
beautiful.
And it's a well laid out stadium, beautiful.
Absolutely. We got JB in the house. What's up, babe? What's up, man? Let's see. He's So Al Strand saying, "Have you ever been to Camden?" Yeah, that's looks amazing there.
Camden Yards or Camden, New Jersey?
I was actually thinking Camden Yards. That's what I was thinking.
Right. I was just joking.
Yeah. So very cool, man. Yeah. I love it. So last question for you that I have that I'll throw your way. I like to always end this with this because I'm usually getting hungry around this time, so it kind of tortures me in a way. But where do you stand with food? If you had one Friday night house to yourself, you have any dinner you want, whether you're going out to eat or you're ordering or you're cooking yourself, what's your go-to meal?
Yeah, so as me being a big, I'm a Caribbean guy, right? So even though I was raised in the States, I was, I still was lived in a Caribbean home, Trinidadian, right? So roti is a big thing, is a big, is a really popular meal in the culture, which is basically Caribbean pita bread with, when you eat it with, you can make it with whatever, curry chicken and potatoes and whatnot, or garbanzo beans, if you're vegan or whatever the case is. But so there's a simpler variation of that called doubles. Like singles, doubles. Doubles, it's like a smaller pita bread that you fit in your hand. It's 2 pieces. That's where you get the word doubles. And it's curried with garbanzo beans in it, man. It's fantastic.
Damn.
Fantastic, man. Anybody, especially Justin and yourself and Morb and, Off-White in the New York area, go to those Caribbean spots, man, and order yourself some doubles. You will not be disappointed.
It sounds good, man. It sounds good. I will say I'm a little scared of spicy stuff, but if there's a version of it that I can do that's not as spicy, I'm totally down for something like that.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely variations. You don't have to get the super spicy. I can't handle the super spicy.
Yeah, otherwise I'm gonna have to have a glass of milk by my side and some bread, just to calm myself down after. But I love that. Rage and Say making a tuna melt now, man. This man's cooking right now. We also Desire JB was saying, in my opinion, the Baltimore Comic Con was the best con for true comic book long box diggers. There you go, man. That is dope.
Yeah, Baltimore Comic Con, man, is really legit. Like it has really skyrocketed into, my opinion, top 3 in the country, top 3, 4 easily.
Yeah.
But if we want to say top 5 for whoever wants to debate it, and no one's going to debate that. You come to the con out here, you will be impressed. It's going to be a blast, and I live here, so let's go.
Hell yeah. That's the other thing I like to point out is that there's so many things to do down at, near the harbor, all around that area. Obviously you could even travel out to like Annapolis or things like that. So yeah, there's a lot to do down there. And if you like seafood, especially, I always tell people, get the crab legs, get the crabs. Like it's good. So good, man. Baltimore is the best for that stuff.
Country, man. Maryland with the crabs, I was, me traveling and whatnot. I see crabs on the menu, crab legs and crab cakes and these different things like that, and it's I look at them, and sometimes some people order it. That's cool, I'm down with that, sure, I'll go for it, but I won't eat crabs, any kind of crab meal outside of Maryland. I'll be doing myself an injustice.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Totally agree there. I've tried. It's funny that you put your mind in that way. It really is. It's like you once you have it, you can't go back. Like you can't, anything else is just less,
Yeah.
Ben says he wants to go to Baltimore now. There you go, man. We'll make a plan.
We've got a spot here, Ben.
Once this stuff.
Everybody in the chat, man. There are people I've talked to and communicated with, man. Come through. We'll make a trip out of it, make a weekend of it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can go to the LCSs. We can go to some of those honey holes, that I won't talk about on this. We could do whatever. We can make a trip out of it. It'll be, guaranteed it'll be a blast.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm ready for you.
JB says the harbor is beautiful and it's next to the convention center, Camden Yard. Yeah, everything is right there. You could walk to literally anything, go to dinners afterwards. So I always look forward to stuff like that. After the party, after the conventions and things like that, there's plenty to do. Sith is saying Easy E, she got more crabs. The seafood platter. Yep.
Right, I was waiting for somebody to say that. That in the chat.
Oh man, dude, Nigel, this has been so much fun, man. It's been special to have you because obviously I feel like we connected from the very beginning. And it's just been throughout, and you've just been an incredible person. Again, as I said in the beginning, to the community, to everybody, man. You've just been so easy to talk to. Obviously, we talk offline all the time. I have you in on the new Discord I just put together. Like, seeing you everybody gets along with you no matter what angle or what they want to talk about, whether it's about books or collecting or selling or whatever. You just seem to be adaptable in that sense and very open-minded. And I appreciate that from you, man. Absolutely, man. You're one of the best. You really are. Thanks, there's a special interview, so I'm glad that I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to do this with me. And of course, big shout out to everybody in the chat. We've had a solid 25 plus people this entire time. So all you guys, really appreciate you guys. I'm sure a lot of you already follow Nigel, but if you don't, or if you're catching the replay and you don't already know, make sure you go follow him on Instagram. And then also, hit that like button and all that other fun stuff. With this, as we close out here, Nigel, I want to give you a little bit of a platform for yourself. So let the people know where they can find you. What you have any shows or anything else coming up next, or I'll let you take the floor here.
So I appreciate it, Justin. Hey, man, I want to say thanks to yourself, man. And all the hey, man, I appreciate the compliment, man. But I will also say, man, it takes one to know one, and I got to say, man, you're an amazing guy. You're an amazing collector. And communicate with the community. and keep doing what you're doing, brother. Because hey, man, the sky's the limit. And I'll be keeping my side eye on that X-Men 1 too. But
I told you, if I do ever sell it, you're the first person I go to. You know that. You already know that.
So much. But yeah, so I also have check me out on IG at Desired Comics. No underscore, no dots or anything. And also, I do have a sales page because I understand that some people don't like salesy pages and whatnot. So I offer a separate page for that. And I tried to refresh, add more books before this show, but I will be adding more books within a week to Desired Comic Shop. And because I do understand some people don't like to be sold all the time and all that. And I'm the same person, same guy. I don't want to be getting hounded by a salesman and stuff all the time, even though I'm a business guy, and I do respect everyone's hustle. So check me out on there. Feel free to reach out to me in the DMs and stuff. I will be on other shows. I have been talking with Sith and Azorus about being on Spine Ticks again. Joker, Gomez, any of the other guys, Big E's, the Savages with Thorough, Josh, Pressable Defects. Hey man, I'll invite myself to your shows. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about it. So, so just appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys have been outstanding. You guys have all been outstanding. That's why I'm still here in the community, because hey, we go to things that are you go places where you're well received, right? That's a common rule of thumb. Go where you're celebrated. And I'm more than happy to always looking at other people's collections and different angles and perspectives of your collections, and how you process as you're reading stuff and you interpret these books and put these things out there. So feel free to contact me anytime about comics. I always love talking about comics. Justin, we're doing it right now and I love it. It's outstanding, dude. This is definitely a memorable moment. So that's all I got. Thanks to the chat. Amazing.
Absolutely, man. I wanted to highlight a couple too as you were talking there. I didn't want to cover your face, but there were some really nice things said about you here. Morbius, Nigel, you're an amazing person. You're a number one true brother right there. We also had we had Ian here. Nigel's the man. Sorry, the chat jumped a little bit. Joker too. He said, "You're more than welcome." He said, "Let me know. Set it up." I'm gonna have Joker on here coming up soon in a couple of weeks, I think too.
Awesome. I'll be tuned in.
Yeah, hell yeah. I missed J2 earlier. My bad. What's going on? Jay Ramirez in the house.
Jay Ramirez, yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah. So awesome, man. I love it. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out, man. Like I said, we've had a solid 25 in here this whole time. I really appreciate all of you. Recognize each and every one of you. If you guys are catching the replay, or if you're just watching the rewind right now, shout out to you for taking the time to watch this. I hope you learned a little bit more about Nigel and his collection. Make sure you are following that man right there. And again, man, Nigel, thank you so much, bro, for being part of this, or being on here. Obviously, this is not the last time. We will collaborate again very soon. And I'll be seeing you in the Instagram chats and YouTube chats as always. So
we'll carry on, man. You know how we do. I appreciate it,
man.
Thank you so much for the time and allowing me to be on your show, man. You're an amazing host, and hey, man, let's keep rocking on.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you, brother, and likewise. So, all right, guys. Well, enjoy your Saturday, enjoy your weekend. Whatever you guys are doing, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will talk to you later.